want to ask you, they've been talking, the coaches, about so much about the culture of the team and trying to change the mindset. What do you share with your teammates about that, knowing that last year's behind you and you have to have a new attitude and a new way to approach things?
I just tell them that's not something we want to go back to. We want to work harder than we was last year, try to stick it out and get these wins. I strictly remember getting beat by Harrison 68-7, and that's not something I want to feel again.
And last week, I'm sure you guys were very, very disappointed and things didn't turn out the way you wanted to, but it seemed like at the end that same thing came back, didn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, 77 years is a long time. We'll get over it. We'll come back against New Pal this week, hopefully stick it out and win. We're working as hard as we can in practice to prepare for them. They're a whole different animal than CONNERSVILLE. It's a totally different story. I've been trying to tell everybody that. Playing as a sophomore last year, they're not no joke. And it's just you got to prepare all week for them.
Is it hard, though, and I don't mean to pick out any one or two players, but is it hard to get that message across that you've got to really take this very seriously?
Yeah, some people like to come out and mess around. You got to get the point down to them that it's high school football. You're playing against grown men almost. They're preparing themselves for the next level. You should be trying to do the same thing. And they're out here to hit you. You got to hit back. You got to respond. And that's really the big story. You got to be able to come out and hit them right back.
You have a lot of players that are, I think, good athletes, but not necessarily good football players, so they have to take a little more time to develop. Are you guys, as veterans, can you be patient with them? I know you got a lot of football to be played, but is it hard to be patient with them?
I kind of see it as a junior. I'm kind of patient with them because I know how I was last year. It's mostly about perfecting your craft, and you can be as athletic as you want, but if you don't know what to do, it doesn't help. So.
But you guys have to really help them along a lot, don't you?
Yeah, we try to help them as much as we can. We get on them here and there, but I think they get it that we're helping them. We're not tearing them down. I think they're getting that message.
The strength of this football team, I believe, right now is the line, both offense and defense. Talk about what you guys bring to this football team right now and try to guess in a lot of ways help it stabilize.
Yeah, most of us are returning, so we kind of got the sense of what's going on. We know how hard you got to work and practice each week to prepare, and I mean it's just being tough up front. It's either you're going to hit them in the mouth or they're going to hit you. It's the way you respond, and I mean personally, I'm just out there to run over whoever's in front of me. It's either they're going to do it to me or I'm going to do it to them. So I'm trying to do what I can to help our team in the best way I can.
I'm sure you'd rather run over them, right?
Yeah, I try my best, keep my legs going, work hard in the weight room.
And that's the other thing. Guys have got to work in the weight room a lot more, don't they?
Yeah, we got to have tremendous off seasons to help us. It's all about that, but sometimes it's like if they're stronger and they don't know what to do, and it translates on the field. You got to be strong and know what you're doing. You just can't just be strong. I know a couple people like that, and they'll try to hit you, and you can just throw them out of the way. And it's like, well, I seen you do this in the weight room. Well, you're not perfecting your craft. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you already mentioned New Pal, and you know how good they are. And they've had Richmond's number for the last several years, and this will be the last time you're going to play them, from what I understand, as the series will change over to Lawrence North next year. Talk about what you see in them. I know Coach talked about he thinks they're beatable, but you play them there, and they're tough to beat at home.
Yeah, we'll have to – it's kind of like we're the CONNERSVILLE of this game. We got to be able to stick it through, know how we can play. They're a very beatable team. I think we almost have to play a flawless game, but I think it's very possible for us to stick it out and beat them this year.
And it does take a certain mentality to walk into a ranked number 5 team like that and say we're going to beat you in your home place. So everybody's got to believe. Yeah,
I've been telling them all week they're not no joke. They will come out and try to hit you in the mouth from the start. They're going to run the same couple plays and they're just going to try to gas you with them. So you got to stay tough, do what the coaches taught you, and you should be fine through the game.
Let me ask you one last thing. If you guys win, lose, or draw, I think is to me, I want you to win. But is it more important to go over there and say, you know what, we're not going to get pushed around. We're certainly not going to drop the way we did last week.
Yeah, it's very important to see how we respond and see how we will act the rest of the season. And I think that if we show that, then the other teams are going to say, well, this ain't the team that got beat by Connersville. This is a totally different team. I don't think that they'll think that I'm just going to walk. Well, I hope they think they're going to walk through us. So come out and hit them in the mouth and stick it to them. And that's just something that happens. I think that's what happened with us in Connersville. We underestimated them, and we learned our lesson.